Why? Why? Why?
I'm gonna break it.
Why?
Here we go again. Every single day we are seeing more and more videos like the ones we're about to watch coming out of Illinois. And Homeland Security has admitted this is becoming a problem. Agents are being followed, they're being tracked, they're being documented, and agents are starting to push back.
I'm not breaking any laws.
ID, please.
What law did I break?
How are you driving? You're
I
driving
was
erratic. You're breaking
No,
the
I
law
was
right now
not.
by not
I was
identifying.
not.
Now, there's another massive story coming out of Illinois, specifically Chicago. The ICE Broadview facility is currently under review in the middle of a trial by a judge to see whether or not it's as bad as people are saying it is.
Marion and Alex, the judge in this case described the conditions alleged as a disturbing record. He went on to say that it is unacceptable, but he stopped short today of issuing any type of ruling.
Yeah, that story is a very big deal. If a judge rules in favor of the prosecution, talking about how the facility is terrible, illegal immigrants are not getting their proper rights, that's gonna be bad for the Trump administration. We'll get to that later in the video. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. And I do need your help to get the videos out there. I make them, but it's really you guys that helps push it out. So thank you guys so much.
Why? Why? Why?
I'm gonna break it.
Why?
Break it.
Why?
Come on, Lonnie.
Why?
Why are you driving like you're driving?
I'm driving because I'm following you guys. The community needs
That's
to
against the
know.
law.
Okay, let's just stop right there. You heard it straight from the driver. I am following you guys because the community needs to know. That is an admission right there. The driver has straight up said, I am following you guys, so we are not creating some narrative. That is the narrative.
To follow people
It
who
is-
drive like that. It is.
I'm using all my legal stuff.
You're not using legal stuff.
Yes, I am.
Driver's license, please.
You can. For what? You're not a police officer.
I am an officer.
You're not a police officer.
I am an officer.
Where?
I need to see your ID.
You're not a police officer.
You're following me around. I need to see your ID.
I have the right to follow and
You do
record.
not have a right to follow people around like that.
I have the right
You are
to
breaking
follow and
law.
record.
Okay, so there is a key detail here. I don't know if you guys are catching it. The officer keeps saying, you don't have the right to follow me and drive like that. Now, again, we track this stuff every single day, and this is a common theme. Believe it or not, Homeland Security doesn't stop everyone who's following them. However, there always seems to be a secondary issue, such as you're following too close, you're following erratically, you're getting in the way, and this is why 18 U.S. Code 111 is very vague. Forcibly assaults, resists, opposes, impedes, intimidates, or interferes. So when you have opposes, impedes, intimidates, or interferes, very vague. This is why officers tend to not only get people on following them, they tend to add in there, you're driving a certain way, you're driving too close, you're acting in a way that's intimidating. That's because, again, this law is super vague.
No laws.
You are.
I'm not
ID,
breaking
please.
any laws.
ID, please.
What law did I break?
How are you driving? You're
I
driving
was-
erratic. You're breaking.
See, I told you guys, he keeps throwing in there, how are you driving? It's the way you're driving. Again, it's very hard to prove if someone's following you, because the person can say, well, I just so happen to be driving that direction. So that's why in a lot of these types of videos, people are not getting pulled over for just the following, it's the intent behind the following agents.
No, I was
Right now,
not.
by not
I was
identifying
not.
yourself.
My name is Jesse.
ID, please.
My name is Jesse.
By law, you gotta give identification.
Yes, to a police officer.
We are officers of the law.
I want a police officer here.
Okay, fine. Police officer. Call 911. All right. Just so you guys are aware, we're stopped with one that kept following us around. It's gonna be Illinois plate, Foxtrot, Golf, 3542.
What law did I break?
Ma'am, how are you driving?
I was driving perfectly
No,
fine.
you were not driving perfectly fine.
I
Got others here.
had
You heard that? He said, we got others here. Again, another common theme if you are subscribed to my channel, and make sure to please subscribe. We cover this stuff every day. If you see the QR code, scan the QR code if you're watching TV. It makes it easier to subscribe. We see this every day. We hear others, we see others. These agents do not like to do this because every time they get out of their cars and every time they try to charge someone with intimidation, impeding, or following, agents put themselves at risk for being outside outside of their vehicles. Now they've been exposed. Remember, in Chicago, everyone is watching them. In Illinois, everyone is watching them.
My turn signal's on. I was driving legally.
You were not driving legally. All right. You can keep recording. This okay. I have no problems with you recording.
I didn't break any laws.
She like that. She don't want to wait for the local PD because she's scared. She knows she broke the law.
I didn't break a law.
So I don't know if you guys heard that in the background. They were actually telling that other person who was honking and yelling at the agents, you better go because the person here broke the law and the cops are coming. And that's why he's saying, look at that. She left because she knows she broke the law.
Okay, we'll see about that.
I didn't break any laws.
Okay, but you know what? That one's testing what y'all are doing.
Okay, so leave your comments down below how you felt about that clip. Here's another clip circulating out of Illinois. Another very common example of what we see. People with whistles show up, they see Homeland Security in the area, and the clip speaks for itself. But again, this is practically every day, and the Trump administration has acknowledged this is a growing problem.
No,
Get back.
I live here.
Get back.
Mind your fucking business.
Get back.
What are you gonna do? Shoot me?
Get back.
You're gonna shoot me?
I'm standing back.
Shoot me.
Now, the one thing I have to point out, filming the license plate. Where are these license plate numbers going? Is somebody collecting this data? There are some indicators, and we know from the state of Illinois, they're talking about having a program to later prosecute agents, ICE agent and Homeland Security, for some of the actions we've seen on camera. So again, is there data collection going on? I don't know. I'm just here to let you guys know this is part of the story. When you watch these clips, you'll notice a lot of times the license plate immediately gets filmed.
Or else what? You gonna shoot me?
Get back.
Shoot me then. That's what I thought, you coconut.
Get back.
Coconut. Dude, you already said that.
Told you guys, right for the license plate. Right for the license plate. Is this being sent to someone? On my own channel, we have actually documented and we're able to cross-reference some of the videos we see right here. They are the same license plates we're seeing from lawmakers when they blast it out to their constituents as far as ICE is in the area. Again, I don't know where this is all being sent, but apparently somebody is seeing the videos, and I'm talking about lawmakers.
Sell out. Yeah, piece of shit. You betrayed the Constitution, you piece of shit. All of you did. You're all traitors to your country. Puto sellout. Pinche bola de cabrones. Pinches culeros, look at you.
Told you guys, again, it's the license plate thing. I also want to address the use of slurs against some of these agents. Another very common theme we see, especially in my Portland videos. Make sure to please subscribe. We cover Portland every day. A lot of officers were saying in a trial on whether or not the National Guard should be going to Portland, officers were complaining that oftentimes protesters are using the color of their skin against them, the way that they look. So this is common to try and wear down an agent. And if this happens every day, I mean, it can get to the best of us.
Hey, you can record all you want, just sit right there. Don't
No, I live here, motherfucker. I go wherever I want.
Damn, don't
Good, sellout. Coconut.
You can stay right there, brother.
No, I go wherever I want. I live here. You. You're the criminal alien. You ain't from here. You don't belong here. Nobody wants you here. You're committing a crime. You're the criminal alien. All of you traitors to America. Pinches culeros. Váyanse la chingada. Hey, go easy on him. Get in the car. Get in the truck. Don't rough him up, asshole. Pinches culeros. Sellouts. Bunch of coconuts. Pinche culero. Look at you, you flirt ass. Why do you cover your mouth? Got to cover your cock breath? Cover your belly, lard ass.
Don't traumatize our kids. Look,
You too, chubby.
another bus.
No fitness standards at the feds, huh?
Jesus.
Fat ass.
All the kids is like this.
So imagine this is your job every single day. And again, if you don't like ICE, I completely understand, or don't like Border Patrol. But again, my intentions with my videos is to show you both sides of the story. This is not like protesters pleading and asking, hey, what are you doing? I mean, these are verbal attacks and assaults. So I'm just trying to show you there are two sides to the story, and you're really not going to be seeing clips like this on the mainstream media. This is why I try to be as fair as possible and show you the raw footage on what's going on. And again, please pray for peace, because we do need peace right now. Let's continue. Okay, the Broadview ICE facility story out of Chicago has to be one of the most underrated stories we see right now, having to do with deportations and Operation Midway Blitz.
Developing now, attorneys for detainees being held at the ICE processing facility in Broadview argued before a federal judge today. They're asking him to intervene and force the government to correct what they describe as inhumane conditions.
Now, that hearing today stemmed from a lawsuit that was filed late last week, where attorneys for those detainees say the holding cells are crowded with clogged toilets and insufficient food.
And already, this is a PR disaster if the judge rules in favor of the complaint. And I want to make something clear. If the building is as bad as what they're saying, I mean, we probably should take a look into what's going on. But as we know, we've seen judicial orders in which the Trump administration has questioned, or at the very least, judicial action, such as deciding how Homeland Security should be dispensing tear gas. You know, things like that.
Also claimed the detainees have not been able to meet with their attorneys.
Investigative reporter Bennett Haberly joins us now with more. Bennett.
Marion and Alex, the judge in this case described the conditions alleged as a disturbing record. He went on to say that it is unacceptable, but he stopped short today of issuing any type of ruling. The main concern for the attorneys for the detainees is the lack of access to their clients. They also allege that some of these detainees have been coerced by immigration agents into signing deportation documents, giving up their rights to see an immigration judge. Now, during this hours-long hearing, attorneys representing detainees argued that the conditions at the Broadview ICE facility are so poor that federal judge needs to step in and force the government to correct some of these issues.
Okay, now we've talked about this before, and this is where this case could, I don't want to say backfire, but definitely might not be as bad as some might think, because we do have to remember the US government has a way different definition than what most of us might think is a livable condition. Because living in a cage, living with not the best food around you, most Americans would say that's not great. And that's what happened with Alligator Alcatraz. A bunch of inmates made a complaint, and the complaints went viral. CNN did a whole segment on it. Lawmakers caught wind. They showed up and nothing happened. This is because what we found out is this is what the government deems as a livable condition. So I'm just trying to tell you guys, this is what could happen as far as we find out in this facility. It's not as bad as what they're saying.
Judge Robert Gettleman acknowledged during the hearing that the conditions as alleged were, quote, disgusting and maybe unconstitutional. The judge heard testimony from at least 5 former detainees at the ICE Broadview facility that testified about the conditions there. All testified that the cells were crowded. One person said there were 120 to 150 people inside.
And this right here is what I'm talking about, because you could hear this same exact testimony probably from somebody who's been in a prison or a jail. It was very crowded, which is why I highly suspect why the judge wants to be very with this case and make sure he looks at the actual guidelines for what's acceptable within these federal institutions.
One of the main plaintiffs in this case said it was not possible to lay down. There was no space. He also testified the toilets were very dirty, seemed like they had never been cleaned, and that the smell was sweat, stale, and it was really bad, in his words. He said he did not sign any deportation documents because he can read English, and testified he was told by a guard that they were court papers. He said he didn't sign them because he knew otherwise. Now, attorneys for the government say the detainees are offered 3 meals a day, that the bathrooms are cleaned, and that phones are available. But the detainees, during their testimony today, disputed a lot of what the government had to say.
And this is where we get into a crossroad, because it's one thing to be like, oh, you get 3 meals a day. Now, are those 3 meals a piece of bread, a piece of chicken that looks disgusting? You know, if you've ever watched any prison documentary or talked to any prisoner, this is exactly what you hear. We get those 3 things, we get what you would assume would be the basic means of life, but it's not to our liking, it's to the government's liking.
The government attorneys also...
Again, I want to be very clear. I am not dismissing what could be happening here, because I know sometimes you could come off as that. All I'm saying is, again, the government has these standards in which a lot of us wouldn't even know is a thing unless you look into these cases.
Acknowledge that the in-person meetings between attorneys and detainees are not really possible because they don't have private rooms there at Broadview. As for the allegations about coercion, the attorneys for the government say they're still looking into that, but that agents are required to offer up $1,000 for people who are interested in self-deporting. The judge, again, did not make any decision today. He wants to reconvene this hearing for 4:15 tomorrow afternoon, at which time he says he's looking at making a narrowly tailored temporary restraining order in this particular case.
Yeah, so make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you up to date with this. Again, this would be a PR disaster if this judge does say what he might be doing. And again, if there are problems, we obviously do have standards as a country. We have to fix them. But as we know, with a lot of these judicial orders in this specific area, a lot of times to the Trump administration, the judge seems to not be in their favor when it comes to how operations are being conducted, or operations cannot be conducted perfectly because of non-normal situations, such as the amount of deportations happening. Because there's so many illegal immigrants being sent to this facility, it's crowded. So that's where we get into this gray area. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, the intentions behind these videos is to try and have a dialogue and see what's actually happening. No narratives. This is the raw footage. This is what we have occurring currently within the Chicago area, specifically in Illinois as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. And again, please pray for peace. We always advocate for peace on my channel, and I hope you accepted my fair critique. I always try to be as fair as possible. Thank you guys so much for everything. God bless, and we'll see you all later.